opportunity knocks tonight for Jake LaRavia and some of the Lakers' role players. No Luka, no LeBron, no Austin Reeves, but for the 53rd straight game, Jake will be out there. With all the injuries, Rui Hachimura is the team's leading scorer active tonight at just over 12 points per game. But it will be a tough task for everyone on the court for the second night of a tough back-to-back as the Lakers host Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs tonight, tipping off in 1 hour. As we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. I'm Allie Clifton alongside the seven rings, seven-time champ, big shot Robert Horry. Big game James, our main man, Chris McGee, are downtown. Mike Trill, they will all be joining us in a few minutes. But we want to know if you guys want the Allie and Rob show. How do you think about that, Rob?
I think it'd be great. We can, get rid of Gita, get rid of James. It's just you and I hosting this show. We get a lot of people to tune in, I tell you that.
Spectrum, fire up the poll. Poll on X. We want to know the story there because there is a big story for the Lakers.
Yes.
Very, very short-handed tonight as we get to it. The Laker injury report is long and significant. Luka out for the third straight game with a left hamstring strain. LeBron played last night but is out tonight. He's dealing with left foot arthritis. Austin Reeves is out after coming off the bench the last 4 nights since returning from his calf injury. And Marcus Smart is out. He's dealing with right ankle soreness. DeAndre Ayton questionable with knee soreness. So they could potentially miss their entire starting lineup versus a very, very good San Antonio Spurs team. What's the game plan? How do you navigate this as active players when you're missing half your roster?
You start smiling for number one, because you feel like this is an opportunity for you to show not just the coaching staff, but in case anybody else out there watching that might want to throw a ton of money in the offseason. So you just go out and you play basketball. You think about what the Lakers have been through and think of how they're able to step up to the plate. You reminds me of, you go back to that Boston game in Boston where you take on the world champs and you win that game. So anything is possible. And also you look at the other night when the Spurs were playing OKC when they had nobody from their starting lineup and they almost lost that game. So on any given night, any team can step up to the plate and play above and beyond what they're capable of because nobody knows what to do with these guys because the game plan is like, what do we do for Luka? What do we do for AR? What do we do for LeBron James? There's probably no scout report on what we're going to do for Les Ray. There's no scout report on what we're going to do for, other guys on the team. So I think this is a golden opportunity for the Lakers to get a win. They just got to fight because right now, as James would say, they're playing with house money.
I was going to say, because despite being shorthanded for the Lakers, that does become a big challenge. There's the human element for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, it's that element.
You have to be disciplined tonight.
Yeah, the element is letting down. And you think about this team, it's not a mature team. It's not a veteran team. It's a very young team. Outside of De'Aaron Fox, he's the only one that really has a lot of veteran leadership. And sometimes you can say, okay, it's the Lakers. They took the night off, so we just going to cruise through this. And next thing you know, you look up at the scoreboard, you down 10-15, and the other team has that momentum. So I feel like this is one of those games where you look at everybody that's over there that could probably, step up to the plate and show JJ and that coaching staff like, yo, if you need me, I'm here for you, and this is what I can do.
Athleticism, quickness, activity, energy is something that comes to mind when you're shorthanded. Some positive injury news. Adu Thiro is off the injury report for the first time since December 30th. On a night like tonight, what could a guy like Adu do for the squad?
When you're young and you back off an injury, you have a lot of energy. You have a lot of excitement. I think for him, he's never been able to really show Laker Nation what he can do because he came into the season hurt. Now he's hurt, then he got hurt again. Now this is a golden opportunity to show why he was such a great pick for the Lakers coming out of college. And for me, he just need to play basketball. Don't try to do too much because sometimes when you come back from an injury, you want to show not just the coach staff, but your teammates that this is why you drafted me. So I think he just need to take it play by play and allow the game to come to him, which is the most important thing when you're coming off the injury.
So the Lakers very short-handed tonight, but certainly plenty of opportunities from top to bottom for those who will be available. And speaking of availability, our main men downtown. First time ever that I have had an opportunity to throw down to the men of the hour. Chris McGee, big game James, right on time, the Hall of Famer. Take it away.
What a special treat that was, having Allie and Rob start the show.
That's right. That's right.
And a little story for everyone. 20 years ago, almost to the day, was my first time ever working a Laker game as a sideline reporter. I was covering the Boston side. I was right under that basket sweating, James. Really nervous. Now I'm cool, calm, and collected.
Still a little sweaty.
It was still a little sweaty, but there was a little issue, but I'm fine now. Everybody's happy. Thanks, guys. All right, James, we love being down here.
Yeah.
Listen, they talked about it. Very short-handed team. A lot of guys are out.
Yeah.
How do you game plan for that?
You know, it seems like we talk about this every pregame show for the last few years. You just got to next man up. We have to say that and do all the little things that, you know, you need to do, like not turn the ball over, which they've done, not giving up offensive rebounds, which they've done. And, you know, you got to take care of the possession of the basketball, make good decisions. And, you know, guys have to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive in situations like this. You know that you're without players, and you just have to be aggressive and play your game without making too many mistakes. That's the key.
All right, well, let's head over to our good friend Mike Trudell, who is standing by with more of an update. Mike, are you playing tonight?
Well, I was going to say, as Big Game just said, next man up, we may have to switch the verbiage a little bit to like next unit up, because it's essentially the entire starting unit, the entire starting group that isn't going to be able to go tonight. Not crazily unexpected, though, if you just think about it, and JJ is going to detail that, Geeter, in a minute or two. But we had the idea that Austin Reeves wasn't going to play in a back-to-back coming off of the calf injury. That does make sense. We know about LeBron James and what he's doing in year 23, the crazy load that he's been playing this last month and change, including playing the last two back-to-backs. We know that Luka is still recovering or dealing with the hamstring, and then Ayton has been dealing with the knee. And we learned that Marcus Smart actually tweaked something, his ankle, in fact, at the end of last night's game. So not wholly unsurprising, even if all of them kind of go together in this one moment for this game against San Antonio. So let's let JJ Redick explain a little bit further on the injuries and how the Lakers can deal with it.
Austin was, you know, he was coming back from a tissue injury. He was only going to play in one of these games, and LeBron, obviously, you know, dealing with the history of injuries he's had, and to start the year, it just depends on how he wakes up the next day and as he goes through his treatment in the morning. But we rolled him out, and Luka continues to progress. Smart, you know, tweaked his ankle in that fourth quarter and played through it, and, you know, woke up today and had a pretty high level of soreness. So he's out. And then DA is questionable with his knee again, and he'll go through his pregame and be a game time decision.
With Marcus, he obviously had the tough last couple of years with the injuries. And would you say you've been, I don't know, impressed, not necessarily surprised, but with how stable he's been, how much he's been able to play, like the level that he's given you, energy and everything like that, you know, just relative to whatever your expectation was?
Yeah, he's been a warrior for us and been super valuable for us as a ball handler, and at times you know, a secondary playmaker and scorer, and obviously he's been our best defender all season. So it's just been super valuable.
With your top, arguably, four not available, how do you feel about divvying that role up? Who are you looking forward to seeing that normally wouldn't be playing as much with guys like Luka and LeBron and Austin and Marcus out?
Yeah, I mean, Kobe and Nick will be the primary ball handlers tonight.
All right, Geeter, so there is JJ Redick, and while he was talking right there, we did receive an update. DeAndre Ayton is officially out due to that knee that he missed the game prior to last night's game. So no DeAndre Ayton. Joining most of the rest of the starting lineup, the exception would be Jake LaRavia, who has been able to play every game this year and deserves some props for doing so, right? Not easy in the modern NBA to be on the court that much. Jake has been the warrior that has done so, and we'll see if they get, I don't want to say everybody back on Thursday, because we're waiting to see how Luka Doncic continues to do with that hamstring. But hopefully they'll get most of the guys back on Thursday. Just, Geeter, as we know, going to be very shorthanded tonight against the Spurs.
All right, Mike, appreciate that. And we do give Jake LaRavia props every single pregame show. We make sure of it because he has been available every single night. We love him being reliable like that.
He's Iron Man right now.
So, Big Game, you were an all-star in this league. You played a long time. At the end of the bench, when you were a Laker, there were good basketball players that never were able to get in. Tonight's a night where role players can star, and those guys at the end of the bench can make a name for themselves and maybe crack a rotation.
It kind of reminds me of, practices where you have your starters, maybe your first 7 players playing mostly against guys that never got to play. But they can play, and every now and then they beat us up. And you better believe, Geeter, that they are waiting for their opportunity to get in there and play. They know they're shorthanded. They know there's not like major expectations. So they need to. They're going to go in and should prove that they can play in the NBA. You don't make it to the NBA by accident. You know, a lot of guys don't get to play, but you don't make it here by accident. You have some talent. All you need is an opportunity, and they're going to get it tonight.
All right, big game. Let's have some fun. We are going to break. Newest Laker, Luke Kennard, who came over in the trade, has a chance to get it done tonight and step up and prove himself. He came over to the Lakers at the trade deadline and has scored 17 points in his 2 games with his new club. And coming up next, we got a treat for you. Rob Pelinka will join us here on set, breaking down everything Lakers.